Hi, I'm Kimberly, and welcome to As I've Seen It. If you are an American who is eligible to vote and you have a Facebook page, your data has been collected by a company owned by a giant Trump supporter. If you live in Great Britain and you are eligible to vote and you have a Facebook page, chances are high that your data has been collected by this same company. This guy is Robert Mercer. Robert Mercer is the billionaire who backed Donald Trump's campaign. He was Trump's biggest contributor. And Robert Mercer owns a company, or mostly owns a company, called Cambridge Analytica. So let me tell you how they came into being. Cambridge University has an amazing psychology department. They've been doing psychological studies for many decades. About 10 years ago, they accepted a brilliant doctoral candidate named Michael Kosinski. And Kosinski was accepted into a department called psychometrics. They measure psychological traits, including personality. So being totally upfront and going through Facebook and asking people if they wanted to take part in his, personality test, people signed off on this. They said yes. Millions of people took the personality test. That gave him a treasure trove of data. According to Kosinski himself, if he has about 68 of your Facebook likes without knowing anything else about you, without ever seeing a photo of you or your personality profile, he can tell you your gender, your race, he can judge your intelligence, he can tell if you are a smoker or non-smoker, he knows if you drink alcohol, he knows if you take drugs, he can even tell if your parents are divorced or not. That's how good these people were. And part of that was using a psychological model called OCEAN, O-C-E-A-N. And this was a model set up in Cambridge back in the 1980s. And it measures openness. How open are you to new experiences? C is for conscientiousness. How much of a perfectionist are you? E is for extrovertedness. Are you an extrovert, introvert? How much along that scale are you? A is, how agreeable are you? How easily swayed are you? And N is for neuroticism. How easily upset are you? How easy is it to upset you? So using that as a model, Kosinski could do a whole personality profile on you with as few as 68 likes. Since then, Cambridge Analytica has gone on to say if they have 150 of your likes, they know you better than your spouse or partner does. If they have 300 of your likes, they know you better than you know yourself. How accurate are Kosinski's predictions? He's usually right 88 or more % of the time. So Kosinski is a researcher. He had no interest in using this stuff. In fact, by the time he published, he was already warning people against the possible nefarious uses of this kind of data. So he's at Cambridge, and in 2014, this other researcher from the psychology department, Alexander Kogan, comes to him and says, I've been contracted by a company and they want to use your data. And they were like, well, what is this company? Who are they? So this company, SLC, turns out to be this British-based, murky, scary company that's been doing election management around the world for decades and military propaganda, military disinformation around the world for about 25 years. So after looking them up, Kosinski's like, no, you can't have my data. Well, a few months later, Alexander starts doing personality quizzes, online quizzes like Kosinski had done, except he's telling people you have to log into Facebook before you can do the quiz. The difference between Britain and America is that you have to give people permission to use your data in Britain. In America, you have to tell people no, they can't. So over the course of the past few years, Cambridge Analytica claims they now have 5,000 pieces of data on 220 million American voters. That's the entire voting population. They claim to have that much data on all of us. And what do I mean by that much data? One of the British guys, and I'll come back to the Brits in a minute because they have a problem now. One of the British guys said he wanted to see how much information they could get on a person, so he went in to see what they had on him. He said it scared him so much he took himself off Facebook. It scared him because they knew where his children went to school, and that's not on his Facebook. They had gone in and gone through his Facebook profile, and then apparently they follow you around the web using basically AI. And I'm trying to boil this down because I had to do a deep dive into some serious technical stuff and read articles 2 and 3 times before I got it all. I always thought AI, artificial intelligence, was like robots and stuff. AI is computer programming, of course. And Robert Mercer, remember him? That guy, the billionaire who owns Cambridge Analytica? Before he made his gazillions as a hedge fund dude, he worked for IBM and he made one of the breakthrough discoveries in AI. So why did this all come to the forefront? Because I hadn't heard about these people. Because they now understand that Cambridge Analytica was involved, possibly, in the Brexit campaign. Robert Mercer, the dude who backed Trump, Robert Mercer is a longtime friend of Nigel Farage. And I'm quoting the word long time because no one has said how many years, but these two are deep old friends. So the British dude I was quoting before, his name is Andy Wigmore. He's part of the Leave campaign, a big part of the Leave campaign, and he's very close to Nigel Farage. In fact, Wigmore claims that it was him who got Farage right there next to Trump after the election, and that he, Andy Wigmore, is the person who took the famous photo of Trump and Farage in front of the gold elevator. That's how close he is to all of this. Cambridge Analytica, they sent a letter to the Observer saying, nope, we didn't do it, nope. Andy Wigmore says, yes, they did. Other people who were part of that campaign were saying, yeah, they helped us. We used their data. When you run a campaign in the UK, you're supposed to disclose who gave money, as well as those who donated services in kind, it's called, who've donated their company's services. Well, Mercer and crew allegedly donated Cambridge Analytica to the Leave campaign, which means they sucked up data from British folk without getting permission. And this could be what takes them down. Remember, these people do personality tracking. They're not just looking at, oh, this person shops at Marks and Spencer's. They're looking at, this person is slightly anxious and can be triggered by the following words or images. So the AI is so sophisticated that they can target an ad specifically at you. And if you don't respond to an ad, if it's not a like or a share for you, the AI learns from your response or non-response, and it can adjust to come up with something you will respond to. That's how sophisticated this stuff is, and that's what voters were up against during the Brexit and didn't know it.